Okay, so measles. Measles is a serious problem. Measles is a serious problem, and we should be trying to reduce illness as much as possible. Let's talk about this slide here. So measles is a childhood infection caused by a virus. Now the measles is a virus, and although many people get measles as a child, you can still get it as an adult. So the best way is to get vaccinated. Now, if you just read the two paragraphs underneath, you got 2 hours ago and 2 hours ago. Measles cases confirmed across multiple states. Urgent health warning for Aussie state as outbreak of contagious disease spreads. It is worsening. Measles is worsening. It is getting bad. Vaccination hesitancy in Indiana spikes as US faces rising measles cases. This is completely preventable. Measles outbreak, right? Woman recently traveled confirmed as first case in Fort Bend County. So measles is a huge problem, and this was made on the 30th of March 2025. I wish this was made under better circumstances. The ones I'm going to be talking about was made this morning. So if you look on the viruses on the left hand side, that they are still happening. Right, let's talk about H5N1 very briefly. H5N1 is the avian flu, and it has pandemic potential. Well, we know that noroviruses are spreading. We know that measles is spreading. The flu virus can be spreading. We are getting a lot more diseases. Why is this? Why is this? Right, let's also talk about long-term sickness. Long-term sickness, ever since 2019, has been going up, and that is because of the SARS-2 virus. People are constantly spreading it, right? You can pause this. I'm not going to talk about this, but long COVID is a huge problem, and we need to be tackling long COVID. So what about long COVID? What about it? Well, we need to be reducing illness. We need to stop spreading harmful germs, right? We need to get, if we want people to be working again, we need to be reducing illness. Right, so let's talk about measles. Let's go back to measles. Now, recently, measles has been spreading and it's getting worse. If you look at here, The Guardian, Reuters, New Scientist, NPR, measles is spreading and it's getting bad. We have a person in charge of health matters, and he is talking about vitamin A, and he's talking about vaccinations are bad. That is a huge problem, right? If you look at Vietnam, you're also having measles outbreak. That is very, very, very problematic. What is the best way to deal with this problem? Number one, you do need to get vaccinated, and number two, reduce getting infected. Right, making sure the air is cleaner and it has less CO2, room is well ventilated, masking with N95 or FFP2. Blue surgical masks can be okay, but the thing is they will have gaps. You need to have proper fitting masks, right? And if you're saying, well, masks don't work, well, I can show you that masks work. I've been wearing it for 5 years. The N95, the FFP2, the physics of it works. Okay, it just works. If people are saying that, well, constant being ill is good for you, well, no, it doesn't, because it makes you more ill. There's more inflammation, more likely to get cancer, and we know that viruses can hide. Like if you think about herpes and cold sores and chickenpox, because chickenpox is becoming shingles, we know that measles, if you aren't vaccinated, it can be a huge problem because measles can actually delete the immune system. If you think about Ebola, if you think about SARS-2, they are equally bad. Back to the flu pandemic, right? 1918, 1919, many influenza cases led to encephalitis, right? That is the brain inflammation. That can cause massive problems. So even flu can be very bad. Have a look at the noroviruses now. So this is 2 days ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Noroviruses have been high very recently. If you look at this, right, you got a cruise ship, 200 fallen ill, norovirus is high. Why are these things increasing? Well, we need to be talking about what is airborne first. What does airborne mean? Airborne diseases linger in, airborne viruses linger in dust particles and respiratory droplets, which are eventually inhaled by other people. In fact, you don't need to be in the same room as a sick person to contract an airborne virus, to inhale the airborne virus and then contract the disease. You can be in a room, but 20 minutes ago someone may have coughed or sneezed. You can still inhale that disease, you can still inhale that virus, and you may get the disease. So it is a massive problem. So you need to be wearing masks, right? How does it work? Well, the person who is ill will have had the virus in their body. Remember that the virus goes into the cell, it hijacks the DNA system, and it makes replication, and it makes more of the virus, and it spreads, right? And then the infected person will cough and sneeze. The droplets and the aerosols will stay in the air, and then someone else who comes into the room 20 minutes later may inhale it, and then they will get that virus, and then they will get the disease. We need to be reducing that transmission. Right, I'm not going to be going through this, but you can pause this and then you can read how the N95 masks work. Avian flu. Avian flu is also a problem. Avian flu has been killing birds, has been killing penguins, it's been killing elephant seals and sea lions, dolphins. It's been killing cats. It's even been killing cats. Bird flu, and we aren't doing anything about it. So yes, SARS-2 is still here. The COVID, which is the disease, is still here. Hasn't gone away. Now let's read this. 2 days ago, individuals who have had COVID could be 8 times as likely to develop a chronic condition. We need to realize that the more illnesses you contract, the more likely you're going to get chronic illness and the more problems. It is to do with, maybe it's to do with processed foods, chemicals, to do with pesticides. That is also a problem. But but another problem is that we're constantly spreading these illnesses, and we aren't doing anything about it, and we should be. Right? Let's look at this one. Grief lingers 5 years after COVID-19 arrived in Colorado, killing thousands. The pandemic hasn't gone away. Right? Now, this was a day ago. Fears of new COVID wave as hospitalizations jumped 19% in a week. Brain inflammation caused by flu. Brain injury caused by SARS-2 infection. It is a problem. It is a problem. Why is no one talking about the harmful effects of COVID? Right? Long-term effects of COVID is bad. Right? We've been seeing it for the past 5 years. So I'm just going to stop here. I just hope people will try to reduce illness. Because we know how things are spread, we should be trying to help other people, because if you are ill, who's going to help you? Right? We need to help each other in order to reduce the illness, and in order to actually get better, we need to have a functioning health system, and we aren't getting that if we are constantly being ill.